Geocaching World is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here.
Hey, guess what? It's CITO month coming up for geocaching.com. Time to go out and pick out the trash. Next on Geocaching World.
Hey everyone, it's Courtney Wallen here at RVNN TV, and of course joined by the trashy, not so trashy. Sorry, I had to. You know, sometimes you just have to do something.
Yeah,
we're going to take out the trash tonight with Mr. Andy Head Hard Hat Smith. How are you tonight?
I'm feeling kind of trashy.
You're feeling kind of trashy now. Sorry about that. You know, it's just one of those things, like you said, you have those moments where you can't let them go, and that was one of them. So you were the recipient and on the other end of that. So sorry. Hey, we've got a great show, and like you said, they're in the teas. The 10th annual Cash In, Cash Out is coming up. It's approaching us here in April. Can you believe it's April?
I know it. It's coming really fast, and the weather, I don't know. Are you past the slush stage yet?
Oh my gosh, Andy, it is gorgeous. I mean, I wore like dresses. I have a dress on now, like I'm talking like summer clothes. And it was like for St. Patrick's Day this week, and people had shorts and tank tops on, where I remember last year was a little warmer, but the year before we're like, we don't want to go to they have like tent festivals and stuff for St. Patrick's Day. I don't want to go out there. There's snow on the ground. There's always the leprechaun leap all over, all those cold places.
I don't know how hard it is to get them to jump that high, too. It's not easy.
That high, yeah, and into that cold of water. This would have been a good year to do the leprechaun leap because the water wouldn't have been as bad. I've seen leprechaun leaks where they've had to like chisel an area out of the ice for people to
when you hear splat, that's never good.
No, never good. So we hope you all had a safe and fun St. Patrick's Day weekend, but it's time to talk some CITO. Let's talk about the international event that's coming up. Let's start there.
Yes, the 10th annual Cash In, Trash Out weekend this year is scheduled for April 21st and 22nd. That's Saturday and Sunday. Geocachers all around the world celebrate International Cash In, Trash Out weekend annually by hosting and participating in CITO events in their local area. So this is really great. You've heard us many times on Geocaching World say this. The world is our game board, and we like to keep it clean. And CITO events are one of the main ways that geocachers by the bucketful go out and pick up the trash. It's great.
They pick up the trash. As a little child, I used to go on walks, and I remember specifically thinking, I'm going to pick up the trash as I go, right? Because it was just intriguing to me. And then I thought, I'm going to pick up all the trash on all the roads. A pretty lofty goal as a small child. But since you have a group of geocachers that are gathering for these events, all for the same common goal, to clean up the trash, I think I should have joined CITO back when I was like 8 years old and actually accomplished something there. Was geocaching around? When did geocaching...
Geocaching started 10 years ago, right around officially 2011. So it'd be 2001 would be right about when it started.
Okay, so I would have not. Geocaching wasn't around when I was 8 years old, unfortunately, and surprisingly, right?
No, but that's okay. That's just one of the things. We've always had so many different types of programs out there. I remember Woodsy Owl with Give a Hoot, Don't Pollute, and all those type of things back then.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Maybe I really dated myself, but there were a lot of programs out there for the simple idea. Thank you. Shh, don't tell anybody. But there were a lot of programs out there for, just simple things. Pick up the trash when you go out. It doesn't have to be a lot. It doesn't have to be much, but every little bit helps.
Absolutely, it does. This is great. I will have to ask you a question at the end. So we said, what is CITO? It's cash in, trash out. Have I been saying it wrong?
I think you did say cash in, cash out, but
cash
hey, you
in,
know
cash
what?
Out.
That's extra.
That's another game I play.
There.
Yeah, and then who does CITO and why?
Well, this is really one of those things. A lot of times, geocaching, not a lot of times, but sometimes in the media, geocaching has a bad light. It's one of those things where somebody panics, they find a geocache, suddenly scream the word bomb, and all this stuff gets put out into the newspapers. Doesn't give the best foot forward when it comes to geocaching as a whole. One of the things that started out way in the beginning was the idea of cache in, trash out. So the idea is very simple. When a geocacher picks up, they get out of their car, wherever they're at, to go find a geocache, along the way they pick up trash. Mm-hmm. And so this is a very good thing. Why? It's great for the environment. It helps clean up your neighborhoods in different areas. It has a very, very positive effect. Now, what I will tell you this is when a geocaching CITO event gets covered by the media, that really gets some really good positive face to the world to show that geocachers care about our environment. And we really do. Are we perfect? Oh, not at all. Do we try our best? I think so. I think a lot of people really take it serious. I've seen a lot of logs where people will say, hey, by the way, this would be a good place to do a CITO event, because they found a lot of trash when they went to find a particular geocache. I think it's great. So why do we do it? We love to keep our game board clean.
Very, very cool. I think I told you the story about a geocache that I had found, or went to find, and it was near where I lived. And it was very difficult to find because I shouldn't say there was so much trash, but it needed some TLC. It was just in an area that needed some TLC. And it was almost one of those things where you almost didn't want to cache there because it just wasn't desirable, and which is unfortunate. It was in a historical district, so your CITO events could be right downtown. Sometimes those are the neglected areas as well. So we said cash in, trash out, not cash
there
out.
There you go, CITO.
CITO, not sicko.
That's something totally
That's
different.
something different. Yep. How many times? I keep saying this. How many times do you have to repeat something for it to stick? And we'll just keep saying the date as we go on. But it's April 21st, which is a Saturday, and Sunday, April 22nd. So put it on your calendar. We'll be repeating that so it sticks like glue.
Yeah. The idea with this, it doesn't have to be on these 2 days, but what usually happens with geocaching.com, they'll announce a weekend. People will kind of center it, but it doesn't mean that has to be the only time you go to a CITO event. They can have them starting now and then have them go way into the fall. So people plan these things literally through the nicer months when it comes to doing these type of events. It's not just for this weekend, but this is kind of the kickoff for it.
Yeah, and you know what? I was talking about the weather earlier, and we've had a very mild winter. We're in the Midwest, obviously, and typically we have snow until like June, I feel like. And we barely had any snow, and the weather is, 80 degrees. It's 80 today, something like that. And it's just weird because now I'm like, if this is going to stay this way, look at how much farther my season has been extended. It's awesome. Some people are talking about how ticks are going to be really bad this year, and the plants are a little confused and things like that. But the selfish, it's extending geocaching, it's extending all these outdoor things that you do. It's kind of awesome. It's a little overwhelming. I'm thinking I could almost have 8 months of great weather. That doesn't happen here.
Take advantage of it, and that's the thing. Yeah, you do really have to be, and we'll be talking about this in an upcoming show as far as preparedness for getting back out there and doing those geocaching. Yeah, you have to be careful, and especially when you do CITO events too, you have to be prepared, and we'll talk about that a little bit as well. It's because of the wilder, less crazy winters that we've had this year, the insects are going to be out a lot more in force. But if you take the protection and the precautions that you should be okay.
Very good, very good. Hey, it's time to give away something. What are we giving away tonight?
Oh, we got a goodie. I've been waiting for this one for a little bit, and this is a doozy from our friends at geosurvivalgear.com. I showed this when I went to GeoCoinFest 2012. And now we're going to give one away. These are one of those survival gear keychains that we've given away in the past. The kicker with this particular one is it is also a travel bug.
Oh, very cool.
So you actually get an extra tag here that you can keep with yourself, and then carry this along. So when you do go to a CITO event or a different event like that, people can discover this. So it's really cool. So it has a travel bug built right into it. It's from our friends at geosurvivalgear.com.
Very, very cool. Yeah, big thank you to geosurvivalgear.com. Hey, we've got some great contributors to our cache stash, and if you know of anyone else that might be willing or just a good pair for us, be sure to send an email to geocache@rvnn.tv. That'd be awesome. We love giving away stuff. All right, so the question to answer to win the geosurvivalgear.com gift is...
they need to send an email
to geocache
at rvnn.tv and put in the subject Q1 for question 1. Here we go. Which continent is the only one in the entire world without a geocache? Let's try that one more time. Which continent is the only one without a geocache? Think hard about this. Go.
Think hard and go. Go. All right. So CITO Events, what might they be focused on? There's a lot of different ways you could go about doing it, I assume.
Yeah, and what's really cool about this is many people, including myself, picture this with just the picking up the garbage, going to a particular park or a parking lot, picking up the trash, getting it done. But believe it or not, there's a lot of other things that people do for CITO events. For example, besides the litter cleanup, you can do things like removal of invasive species.
Whoa.
And what that usually means in that particular case is plants. There are many different places in the United States and all around the world where a park will start getting overgrown by a particular invasive plants. Now, one of the ones that I can think of here, good luck trying to do it, but it would be a good effort, it's kudzu. Kudzu is the plant that ate the South. It's everywhere.
Oh, my goodness.
But there are also plants in other places. In Michigan, there's one in particular, and the name escapes me of the actual plant itself, but there's several parks there that they have a problem, and they literally get everybody there with the shovels and the rakes and all the things and yank this stuff out so it cleans up the trails. So there are different type of CITO events for getting rid of invasive things. Now, I don't know if necessarily as far as animals and that type of thing,
yeah,
but I've definitely heard about plants.
Yeah, look, if you're wanting to do a species of the animal kind, you might want to look at the regulations.
Yeah,
and the legal.
The parks will tell you.
Yes.
Yeah, the parks will tell you what you can and can't do for those particular things. But definitely plants in those particular cases. The other ones is the reverse. It's what they call revegetation efforts. So what that means is you've got a hunk of concrete, and that's it. And what they do is they turn that into an actual park for the kids. A lot of times they'll put up swing sets, they'll put in different types of plants, they'll do all the sorts of things to turn it either into a garden. There's all sorts of different ways of re-beautification that you can do to really just make an area that has just been an eyesore into something special. It's a beautiful effort. I love it.
You know what, Andy? Let me be a girl here for just 1 second.
Sure.
Something just came to mind to me. And it's the new social network called Pinterest. And I know we talk a lot about it and so on and so forth. But a lot of the things that I'm starting to pin on my personal boards is a way to repurpose items and for gardening and things like that. So, like you said, revegetating a place. They talked about there's a lot of pallet things going on, so you could do like a pallet garden and maybe repurposing some of that trash into something useful. So maybe Pinterest this year could be not a contributor, but it could be a source of repurposing things.
Absolutely.
That's the girl.
And I think that's a great idea, and I think it's a great way for visually showing people what they do and how they accomplish that. I think that's a great idea.
There you go. Hey, if you have Pinterest, maybe make a CITO board and some ideas. You could do a board for that and in preparation. All right, so we did the revegetation efforts and building trails. That's awesome. I did that all the time when I was little, and they probably are totally grown over now, but building trails, that was That's just fun.
Yeah, there's a lot of parks out there that would love to have walking trails put in, and they either just don't have the money, they don't have the funds, they don't have the people, and a lot of times they will do just that. They will organize an area and say, look, we'll supply all the things that you need to build the trail, rake it out, we just need you to put it together for us. Awesome thing to do, and then you end up with some really great walking trails.
There you go. And this isn't like back breaking, sweating. You're not going to get any water. You're hard working, for 12 hours. You're putting in 24 hours in a weekend to do CITO event. This is fun. I mean, you're doing a great thing, but we're having fun while we're doing it. That's kind of the whole point. We're not going out there doing something that we wouldn't want to do again.
Well, that's one of the things that I've gone to quite a few of these events now, and I'm actually planning the ones that I'm going to be going to this year. There's a lot of satisfaction when you go to a particular area and pull out, X number dozen of garbage bags full of garbage. They're affecting the environment, affecting the animals, affecting the people that want to walk through, and now it's being removed. There is a huge satisfaction to that, and yes, it's a lot of work depending on how much that you want to do, but it's so much fun being able to do it together with other geocachers. So, anytime it takes for somebody to get together, geocachers will be there.
Great. Hey, they've got they were just asking again in the chat room. It is geocached@rvnn.tv is the email that you send it to, and then put Q1 in the subject line. I just want to answer that. I should show a little camera here. If you're in the Google, we've got a Google Plus Hangout. All these things. I've got a lot of monitors tonight, and it's lots of keyboards, lots of fun stuff to play with. All right, so we're having fun, and like you said, there's things that you want to plan on bringing to, and if the event maybe says we've got this, that, and the other thing, there's some other things that you're going to want to bring on your end.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Now, the kicker with a lot of these, CITO events usually hook up with the state or geocaching organization. So, in other words, for North Carolina, we have the NCGO, which is the North Carolina Geocaching Organization. A lot of times people will say, look, we're going to have the CITO event. What can you donate that we can either give away as prizes or use to stock up for people as they're actually doing the CITO event? And they will do that. A lot of them will. A lot of businesses and the parks that ask you to go out and do this type of stuff will supply everything you need for it. But one of the things that you want to bring just to make sure that, in case something isn't there, you always want to take the basics. You want to make sure you got gloves, some kind of grabber tools really good to use, anything that you're going to use when walking in whatever environment. So in other words, if you're in an area that it has a lot of, like in my case, venomous snakes, you're going to want to have certain boots that you want to keep and something like that, because you're going to be down in areas that those type of critters can be in. You want to have hiking poles so that you have poke with the stick, very important. So a lot of the common sense basics is the type of thing that you want to bring just in case, but in many cases it's provided for you when you go to these events.
Good to know. Good to know. I'm going to look for one around here, and I'm just taking notes down here too. All right, so do we have an answer yet by any chance? A winner, a correct answer.
Right now, a correct answer is always good.
Yes.
And actually, we have to tell them with this. This is a trick question.
Whoops! A little late, huh?
Little late. I should have said something, but no. This is it was a trick question, and the first person, and the Lewis is our winner.
Oh, of course.
We've had a bunch of people that put things like Antarctica. You're close, but Lewis is the correct one. The answer is that they all have geocaches on them. We have geocaches on all the 7 continents. They're in over 100 countries. And sorry folks, send the hate mail to geocache@rvnn.tv, care of Head Hard Hat, you suck. Trick question for you. Congratulations to Lewis Kaplan, though, for giving the right answer.
Oh, you're funny. All right, well, you know what? Let's let them simmer down for a little bit. Simmer down now. Can't really do that all that well. We're going to take a quick commercial break, so chill yourself. We'll be right back.
Hey, Gabe, want to go for a walk? Gabe? Gabe? Gabe?
Hey, buddy, you lost? Hold on.
If your pet is the adventuresome type, be sure he's connected to Pet Hub. A quick scan using any smartphone shares your pet's vital information so that even his wildest escapades have a happy ending. Pet Hub, reuniting pets with their families.
Come on, Gabe, let's go home.
Alrighty, I love that commercial.
I love that commercial. I do. I love that commercial. That is one well-traveled pooch.
It is. He really is. Gabe. Yeah, I saw that Gabe had a Facebook page. Of course he does. I had a Facebook page before I did. Oh, man. You know, it's funny. In the chat room, Lewis said that, "Dope! I wasn't going to answer." He thought that we had messed up. And he was going to let someone else win, so much for planning that, he said.
According to his email, he said he cheated. He didn't cheat. He looked it up. He said he actually looked and noticed that there were geocaches on all the continents and got his answer that way. So congratulations. Way to go, Lewis.
Very, very good. Man, I just yawned. It looked like I was getting emotional over that. Sorry about that. I need to wake up. A decaffeinated tea. A bad idea. All right, so why do state and county parks ask so many cachers to do CITO events?
Excellent question. It's almost like you knew.
I know. It's almost like I was reading it right off the script. What script?
What script? The parks, especially state and county, what happens is, let's face it, geocachers tread where many fear to go. We go in places that people just don't feel comfortable at. So that means that boundary between the edge of the water of a lake to where that first trail is. People love walking the trail, but they don't want to go to where that boundary in between is. Geocachers will go, no problem. So that's why we're excellent for this type of thing. Going up rocky trails or going into hollers or going into whatever type of terrain is necessary. A lot of people, they want to keep on that nice, asphalt or nice, dirt. We'll dig in where we need to go, and that's why they love us to do this, because we can get the trash where a lot of people just don't want to go.
Exactly. Hey, we'll go do the dirty work, if you will.
Exactly.
We'll do the dirty work. All right, so like we've been saying so much, and I just love this. The world is our game board, and really, geocaching very applicable. A lot of other, hobbies and things like that applicable. Think of it that way. I mean, if you want to keep doing the things that you're doing, you need to keep your game board clean. And we want to show our kids this. Pass it on. If you don't have kids, if you maybe you cache with your niece or your nephew or your friends or someone, pass that on to them, because they can continue to pass it on, and it's this really lovely snowball effect that happens.
I couldn't put it any better than that. I think that's exactly right. Kids watch what their parents do. That's how they learn. And if they see you going from your car to a geocache and just picking up a couple of things off the ground and putting it into either a bag or your pocket or whatever it is until it can get disposed of correctly, then they start doing it. And they do it over time. And then they teach their kids to do it. And it just on and on it goes. If everybody just picked up a little bit of trash every day, the world would be a whole lot cleaner. And, I know it's awkward for a lot of people, and I know it's not always convenient, but it does help. And every little bit does help. And if we can teach our kids to do this where they don't have a problem doing it, that all the better.
Very, very, very well said. And this kind of goes into the next point we wanted to talk about real quick, is hosting your own CITO event. And you said a couple years back that you actually went to one that was hosted by a 14-year-old and his mom. How cool is that? A 14-year-old took the initiative to host a CITO event. He's a young guy. and he did it. He understood the importance of having that. Way cool. So tell us about that event a little bit.
His name in geocaching is Black Weasel, if I remember correctly, and he was only 14 years old. Sweet guy. He is so nice. And his mom backed him up. They did geocaching all over the place. And basically he said, I want to do a CITO event. They live semi-close to a cemetery, and there's a stream and there's walking trail, but there's quite a bit of trash there. And he said, I want to help clean this up. How do I do it? Well, the answer was get about 50 geocachers to come over, and that's exactly what happened. They had a couple of prizes that they gave away, which were donated from other geocachers, so there was no cost to them. They provided all the food and water that we wanted for this, and away we went. We had this great hike, very scenic area, and this wonderful cemetery that we just cleaned things up. And yes, there were a couple of geocaches nearby too, just enough to catch the interest. So that was great. Wonderful event. I can't wait till the next one that he gives. And this was a 14-year-old out there doing the initiative, and that tells you how difficult it is to set up a CITO event. There's nothing to it. All you got to do is get permission of whatever area that you want to clean up from whoever the landowner is. You got to do that anyways with a geocache. You go to geocaching.com, you set it up, and you host it. It doesn't have to be big and fancy. Bring some basics or put in your description, I'm going to provide X, Y, and Z. Bring something with you.
Yeah.
People love doing that. Geocachers love it. They don't mind. All they want to do is help. Next thing you know, you've got a whole bunch of geocachers with a whole lot of trash bags cleaning up an area. It's amazingly fun.
Very, very cool. You know, as I'm thinking about this, so you go to geocaching.com and you register your event. Is that correct? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay, so because I've never done one before, so if I was thinking about hosting an event this year, I have no excuses because Black Weasel was only 14, and I am a little over 14, and I have the capability to do this. So I'll go to geocaching.com, register it there. You know, I could use my social media tools to maybe do a Facebook invite, do a Google Plus, Twitter, whatever, and do it that way. That could be cool. You know, and as I'm thinking about this, Andy's in the other room, Andy McCaskey. Maybe we should have an RVN hosted CITO event here in Michigan.
Go for it. The kicker that you want to do with this is make sure the emphasis is on the CITO. You know how geocaching.com is about promotional stuff. Mm-hmm. But what you do in a case with this is whatever area that you want to do it in, just make sure you talk to the landowner first. Set all that up, tell them exactly what you're going to do. I'm sure they're going to let you do this because that's always a help anyways. And go for it. And just put in there, we're going to provide X, Y, and Z, bring X, Y, and Z, and then you're all set. It's really easy. And when you put it into geocaching.com and they actually activate it, people will look for, we look for events almost every day or at least every week. They will come. And if you want to throw in all the social stuff with it, by all means, that'll just help that much more. Very
cool. Okay, so I'm going to immediately talk to Mr. McCaskey before I go, because we have, a month to tomorrow. It's the 21st of March. Weird. And we've got a month to plan if we can do this. So I think that would be something really neat for us to do. And if not, we'll get involved with one here for sure. So that's about all for this week's episode. And I just have to remind all of you out there in the chat room, if you were unable to make it to last week's show, we had a group of Cub Scouts in, and it was so funny. And I had such a good time with them and had an even better time editing it. I was laughing so hard to the point where I was like, rewind, fast forward, rewind, fast forward, like slow motion, fast. These kids are like choking each other.
You did a lot of, I have to put this in.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was great. The kids will be kids, and they were perfect, and just the way that you expect them to be. And it's, if you see any one of our episodes in the past recent history, see this one.
Oh, yeah.
It's a riot.
If you're on Ustream right now watching us, if you go to there's a chat tab and there's a video tab. If you go to the video tab, you'll actually see the live version, and I'm actually on you actually see the green screen. The edited version, of course, you can go to rvnn.tv and watch it there. We have a shows tab. Obviously, Geocaching World's in that shows tab, and that will come up. And just a reminder, and I don't know if we announced this last week, But you know what? Let's talk real quickly about Roku and other places that you can watch us.
I was just going to say, you got to see us on the Roku channel and Boxy.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up some pictures. Why don't you talk about Roku if you want for a quick second?
It's amazing. One of the things that you want to do, there are a zillion ways now to see different type of internet content through televisions. One of the best ones and most inexpensive that I've seen, where if you want to get a lot of those applications that you get on the internet to see through your television, is a Roku box. They're only about $70. Actually, some of them are a little less than that now. They're a little box about this big, plugs into your TV, and you instantly have access to all your favorite stuff, including the brand new RVNN.TV channel, which has all the shows, all the content, Geocaching World. It's there. Check it out.
Hey, and
it's really amazing.
It is, and you know, I should not pinch myself. I should slap myself on the hand here. I don't own a Roku yet because they keep having all these great deals on them, and I can't. I know that they're going to have a better deal, so I keep waiting, and I don't have it yet. So I have an Apple TV, which we haven't really locked down Apple TV because Apple TV really hasn't locked down itself yet. You can watch us if you're going through podcasts. So if you have an Apple TV, that's how I watch our programming. But as you see here at the bottom, the Roku, Roku, which one is it? The least expensive one is only $49 right now.
HD, I think it is. The HD is basic model, but you don't need much more than that. You got all these. You got Netflix, you got Amazon, you got all these other things that you can do with it, and you got a zillion channels that you can choose for content all over the place with it. And, you know, it literally takes 2 minutes. You plug it into the side of your computer, you tell it which channels you want to put in, you put a code in for each so that it knows that with that box, that's the one that it goes to, and you're done. It's 2 seconds.
It is, and you know, a lot of people are cord cutters, and I would consider I have my Apple TV and I don't have cable or anything like that, and I've been sharing this on live, and I think you might find this interesting if you haven't heard me chat about it. I have a friend who is with a certain cable company, wants to be a cord cutter. He has the box, he has the Apple TV, he has the Roku, has them all, okay? He still is paying for cable, and he's locked in for like a year, so he's like, whatever. So he did the math. If he even went through Apple TV and purchased every episode, like he said he'd have to have like 35 shows to equal the amount that he pays for his cable bill, purchasing seasons. He couldn't even come up with 35 TV shows or whatever it was. And that's just incredible. So the amount of money you're saving and just the capability you have. I have Netflix. I can watch my Netflix right on my flat screen.
It's instant. Awesome. Anytime you want it, it's there. And, you know,
Oh, no. Are you there? Are you there? All right, I think, let's see here. Okay. I think we just had a technical glitch. I'm going to see if we are still streaming.
There we go.
Are we still streaming? Are we good?
No, we're locked up with me looking like I just swallowed a goldfish.
You know what happened? I think we're good. We're good. We're still recording. The other computer went down. I pressed a power cord with my foot. Whoopsie. So actually, let's see here. I'm going to keep video on. I hope we're still rolling here.
I had a pause for a bit there.
That's too funny. I'm going to see if we're still going. So if you're watching the recorded version of this, you're watching us freak out, and people in the chat room probably like, what are they doing? Let's see here. You know who is the best source for this? Lewis, can you see us in the chat room? Is video down? Are we good? See, I don't know what I just said. Anyways.
What a way. But hey, we're ending up the show anyway, so that's good.
We are. Oh, man. I really goofed up. Okay, so there's that Boxy as well. If they're watching, I took the stream down. So if you're watching this, I apologize if you're in the chat room. So let's talk about real quick at Boxy, another set-top box.
That is a good look for me.
You're frozen. I think you're just audio right now. I'm sorry. So we'll wrap up. We'll take the pain out of this. So anyways, Boxy, there it is. We're also in that app store, and as of last week. So that's brand new. So check it out. If you go to boxy.tv, you can find out more about Boxy. It's a little bit more expensive, not much. It's more of a geeky box, as we like to call it here, a more techie box. And, you're moving again.
All
there
right.
you are. You're alive. You're a real
Yay!
person. Oh, I feel so horrible right now. I just totally lost everything. Okay. Well, you know what?
We
On
love
that.
you, Courtney.
Oh,
Don't
thank
worry
you.
about it.
This is where power strips maybe should. This is live. This is why we go live, people. This is authentic content. You can't get anywhere else.
Can't get better than this.
No, you can't. You can't. So, the great show tonight. Appreciate all your hard work putting into planning this episode. And again, CITO, the 10th annual official geocaching.com date is April 21st, 22nd. Of course, you can always have one whenever you'd like, but that's the weekend that they have given.
That's what they plan out, right? Absolutely. Anytime before or after, it's appreciated no matter when you do it. So the main thing is, if you got a chance, make sure you attend as many as you can, and if you want to, host your own.
There you go. All right. Well, this has been another great episode of Geocaching World. We hope you join us next Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And in the meantime, go and watch that Cub Scouts episode and get a little giggle. All right, Mr. Hardhat, we will see you next week, all right?
We'll see you guys.
Got a question or a comment about geocaching? Send it to geocache@rbnn.tv or leave us a voicemail at 877-578-RBNN, extension 714. Tell us about a cache you especially enjoyed finding, and we may feature it in an upcoming episode. Follow RV Newsnet on Facebook and Twitter, and you can receive text messages to alert you when we're streaming live by texting RVNN to 72727. That way, you can join us live in the chat room, ask questions, and become part of the RV Newsnet family. Remember, any photos or other material submitted to us become the property of RV Newsnet and cannot be returned. Today's show is brought to you by Angie's List, where you'll find thousands of unbiased reports and reviews about service companies in your area. Whether you're looking for a roofer, plumber, house cleaner, dentist, or even a doctor, Angie's List members share their experiences with each other so that you can choose the service company that's right for your job. Companies can't pay to be on Angie's List, and the reviews come from people just like you who have had experience with the companies mentioned. To find out more, go to rvnn.tv and click on the Angie's List ad.